Hi, my name is Regan of Spring, Texas. During the week, I'm a research scientist. I'm a senior chemist on a project to develop a way of sequestering carbon dioxide deep underground to slow down global warming. But during the weekends, this is my home. This is the borderlands. This is where Houston stops and the wild areas of Texas begins. It's an area filled with wild pigs and coyote, deer and alligators, copperhead snakes. For the last 3 years, I've been running a blog, www.intotheborderlands.blogspot.com, where I've been telling people and showing them this wonderful area that exists just here in Houston. It's developed quite a following worldwide, and now I'm hoping to take it even to the big screen. So with your help, let's answer some questions you gave me. So what makes me an expert on wildlife? Well, I'm a self-taught naturalist. I've spent 30 years in the woods and in the libraries learning all I can about the creatures that inhabit this world. And out in the wilds, I've tracked deer and watched coyotes chase after them. I've walked with moose in Vermont. In Alaska, I've seen a grizzly tear apart a carcass. In the Bahamas, I've swam with the giant manta rays. In New York, I've snorkeled with big eels in the rivers up there. Generally, I just go out in the woods, I see what's there, I learn what's there, and I love to report back to people. And to report back to people, I need to know what I'm talking about. So, I'm not your classically trained Jane Goodall type person, but I know what I'm doing. Now, I was hoping to find some coyote tracks here this morning, but the recent rains have pretty much erased all signs of anything except me and the ATVers who come tearing through here. This area actually is very thick with coyotes, and at night, if you're out here, you can hear them yipping and howling to each other. It's pretty cool woodland music. And it does kind of trigger the caveman hairs in the back of your neck to stand up and say, wait a minute, this is kind of scary. But in reality, the coyote attacks are very rare. Ask any roadrunner how dangerous a coyote can be. And here in the United States, you're much more likely to be attacked by Lassie than by Wiley. The thing I would want to be worried about if I were out in the wilderness, or when I'm out in the wilderness, is mountain lions. The mountain lion is an amazing creature. It has the largest range of animals in pretty much the world. You can find it all the way up in Alaska to down in South America in the Andes. It's amazingly adaptable, very similar to the coyote in that respect. When you're out in mountain lion areas, like I said, you need to be aware of your surroundings. Ditch the iPod. This is coming from a person who has a lot of Apple stock. But ditch the iPods. Keep looking around. Keep notice. If you see a mountain lion, you want to get it big and strong. You want to make yourself not look like a target. And kind of the same thing like muggers in New York. You don't want to look like a victim. You want to talk to the cat in a very stern voice. So, kitty, back off. Pick up a stick or a knife or a rock or something and just brandish it. If you have kids nearby or kids with you, you want to pick them up. Kids can be very unpredictable. You don't want them to suddenly burst off running. And if you're going to a place with mountain lions, you want to alert your kids. Say, look, stay close to me. If you see a mountain lion, stand up big and strong. Don't run. It'll trigger the instinct of the cat to chase you and attack you. So if you have the kids, get them to come to you, pick them up, protect them. Now, what do you do if the cougar attacks? You want to defend yourself. You want to fight back with everything you got. With cougars, there's no playing dead. But with cougars, you go ballistic on them. Hit them, punch at their face, stare at their eyes, stab them, beat them with a rock, your big stick, whatever. Fight as hard as you can. People have been known to fight off mountain lions using things like fishing poles, bicycles, whatever you have. Now the mountain lion is going to try and go for the back of the neck. Its killing bite is to sever your spinal cord and render you helpless. So whatever you do, you got to try and get it away from your back and bring it to the forward and just beat the living tar out of it. If you are attacked or even see a mountain lion that makes threatening approaches, you really want to alert the local DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, or the local wildlife officials, so they can look into it. And if the cougar mountain lion is a troublesome beast, they can trap it or move it away, or worse comes to worse, if people have befriended it, which is a bad idea, they may have to destroy it. So remember, out in the woods, you're no longer the top of the food chain. It doesn't end here. It ends up here somewhere. And one of the things you got to look out for is mountain. My scariest adventure ever took place on a sandbar, much like this. My friend Clark and I were mapping out the San Jacinto River, learning where the deadfalls were and so forth, marking it on a GPS so future paddlers would know what to expect. The weather report called for thunderstorms, or a chance of thunderstorms, but the weather reports here in Texas are horribly unreliable. And we just kind of figured if it comes up, we'll deal with it then. We had some gear, we had some rain gear and so forth, but we weren't too concerned. Started out paddling nice, and pretty quickly the weather turned bad. The sky clouded over, winds picked up, and it started to rain pretty hard, which wasn't so bad. We're in a canoe, we're on water, water in the air, water below. It's fine. Then the lightning off in the distance started up. It quickly became apparent that it was coming very close to us, so we looked for some place to get out. But the banks that were very steep, nothing but pine trees, and no place to go, no place to land the canoe. We didn't want to be on the big river, you know, in a giant 15-foot aluminum canoe, giant lightning rod. Up ahead we saw a sandbar, and we paddled for it frantically. It was the only place we could go. And as we got to the sandbar, the lightning was just hitting all around us. Terrifying. Got out of the canoe, raced to opposite ends of the sandbar, crouched down on our life preservers. We figured if we separated, if lightning did hit one of us, the other would survive and could tell the wife and kids what had happened, report to the authorities where our bodies were. It's terrifying. I've never been that scared in my life. It's lightning hitting all around us, bark from the exploding trees raining down onto the sandbar, the wind howling, the rain, hail started, and just crouched there thinking, my God, what am I doing in here? This is nuts. Eventually the storm passed. We got our stuff together. Clark and I looked at each other, kind of admitted just how scared we had been. But then, you know, there's that feeling you get when the bullet just misses you, that thrill, that I survived. That kind of coursed through our blood, and we were buoyant to the rest of the trip. And ever since then, nothing has really gotten us down. It's amazing how your life changes when you really look death in the eye and go, God, you're big and scary. Now, I'm a self-taught naturalist. I'm a lion!